of tea on the go, soldering iron's heated up. Saturday afternoon, about 12:30, so I thought what better time, I've got a few hours. Let's get a bit more done on this Bremi, because we're getting close now. The new 5 nanofarad components have turned up. I've got 50 volt parts, I've really upped the voltage on them. So let's see about getting one of these in. I need to clean the board in the position where it goes in, which is across these two pads here. You can see all the old solder flux on there. So I'm just going to get some IPA on the go, give that a quick go over with the toothbrush. And let me get some tissue and we'll come back. Right, let's get a bit of IPA on here. Oh crap, I didn't have the lid on. Oh, Jesus. What the hell did I do that for? Luckily it's gone on the kitchen towel, but I suspect it's gone through that. Yeah, it has all over the table. Oh crap, hang on. Right, I've quickly stripped the table, got rid of all the tablecloth, that's gone in the washing machine. Jesus, oh, I just don't know. So anyway, I've got the new capacitor here. Let's get this fitted, which goes across here. So, middle, can't see the legs to bend them. There we go. Right, let's get some solder on. So the little 5 picofarads down in there. Is it 5 picofarad? 5 nanofarad, sorry. 5 nanofarad. The only thing I've got left is this big bugger up the top here. Now this was alright on mine, I'm hoping it's okay on this one. So let's put the tester on. 928 picofarads and it should be 1000, so that's fine. So I'm going to put that back in because I used the same one on mine. That doesn't seem to have been used, or damaged, sorry. And again, I used the same one on mine because getting hold of one of those is quite difficult, that size, so that's good. So it looks like that's the last component now. Now I need to go and get the case, start cleaning the case up, and then we can start working out the wiring to put this board back in. The board is actually finished. Right, so I've cleaned out inside there. Still getting crud and crap out of there. So the next thing I want to do now is, while we've got all this relatively free, I just want to give both of these tuners a little go with some contact cleaner. Just to make sure they're as good and nice as they can be, because they've probably never been lubed or cleaned in the whole time. Yeah, that's much better now. Look how I can do that with one finger. Really nice motion. This one's a bit tighter, but it's still nicer. Right, let's get the wiring. We'll work out how this goes back together. I did take a load of pictures of the wiring and I've put tabs all on here as well, so you can see in the photo which one goes where on the board. Come on, you must have spotted my deliberate faux pas there. I've forgotten to put some key components in. I haven't put the two massive capacitors on the board, have I? So I need to get them in now. So we get the forming tool and we get them in. Well, you notice on the top of the board on my one, you can see that it's got a hole dead centre as indicated. So that the hole's there, the leg goes through and then it bends down onto the bit to solder onto. Mine's in the centre. Here's a picture of the one I'm working on. As you can see, the hole's offset. So I'm not quite sure what's gone on there, but they've completely drilled the hole in the wrong place. So I'm going to have to mount the capacitor off centre because I've got no other hole to put it through. That's really annoying. So when you're soldering the two big capacitors back in, on the right hand one you have to have the plus at the top, minus at the bottom. On the left hand one, plus at the bottom, minus at the top. And that's with your valves nearest to the table. Right, what I did is when I took all this apart, I numbered all of the wires apart from these two. Now on my unit, I've got a brown and blue, not a yellow and blue. So Dave's unit is slightly different. However, I've worked out where all the wires go, so we now run through where they're going to go. And these two are the first two that you put back in. And these two go, one goes above the transistor in a little hole here, and the other one goes down in a little hole somewhere, yeah, just here to the right of this lower capacitor. So I'm just going to make sure that I haven't got any solder over those, unblock them. Then we'll look at the wires here, trim them up, get them nice and straight, push them through and solder them in. So you can see here the two wires are in. Now what we've got is both of them have got a blue wire. Mine's got a blue wire, Dave's has, and it's running down to the hole just above the transistor. Dave's one's got a yellow wire which is running down to this hole just to the left of this resistor here. But on mine I've got a brown wire, so this can be yellow or brown, but that's the thin wire you want to go to that position there. Right, so the board now is starting to go back in because I've got the yellow and the blue wire attached. The next wire we're going to attach is the one I've got labelled here as number 1, which comes out the centre of the transformer here. Now it actually goes onto the back of the board here. I'll put a picture up on the screen now. As you can see, that's where wire, which I've labelled up as number 1, goes back to. So I'm just going to flip this board over, put a piece of stuff in here to lay it on and solder it. So there it is, mounted onto there, onto that pad. That copper wire, it's a single strand copper wire like this one. It was really dirty. It took me ages to get it clean to it before it would solder. So hence I mounted back some of the outer terminal here, so I've put some heat shrink over the top just to make a really good joint. So that one's on. So we've got we've got the blue, the yellow and the red. The next thing I want to do is put on these two down the side. So wire number 6, which is the one that comes in here from the mains and doubles up, that goes to, not wire number 6, wire number 5. Where's wire 5? Wire 5 is this one, the other bit. No, that's 4, 3, where's 5 on there? Oh, 5's underneath here. So 5 goes to this side of the fuse, and then the one from the mains, which is 6, goes this side. So 5, let me just find out where 5's coming from, just so you know. Ah, right, okay. That's what I'm referring to as wire 5. It's coming out of the transformer here towards the two capacitors. And that goes to this side. So the top side where it says fuse 25 amp. And then the other one, which is the one that comes in here, goes off over there but then loops up and splits here. That goes to the far side at the bottom of the fuse. So let me get set up for soldering on that one. So there's the two either side of the fuse. The one from the middle of the transformer here comes along to there, and then this one goes back down here and loops all the way round back out to there. You'll find it 5 and 6. So 5, 6. Now the red wire looks like it's coming off the top of the operate standby switch, runs up there, that little thin red wire, then goes into the hole to the left of this capacitor. You can see it there, and solders onto the back. Right, so getting there nicely now. So we've got those two on, so we've got 2 wires left by the looks of it. Now this one does like a double connection on here, and then wire 7, oh there's 3, where's wire 4? Ah, no, we've got another wire here, wire 4. So 7 and 4 go together, and then 3, oh, wire 3's at the top, so wire 3 goes on there, and then 7 and 4 go together. But then I've also got to get these on as well. And I also, when I bolt these on, I want to add an extra earthing thing in here as well. So these are quite easy to weld onto the board. It says, yeah, that'll go onto there. and then that one will push out and go onto this point here, so they're okay. So what we've got left to do now, let me find where 3 and 4 goes. I think it's here, but I'll just double check. So this is where they fit on. You've got one on the extreme right hand pad, then a gap, and then the other one onto here. Now they're inside this curly thing, but they're actually 2 little black wires that come out of the top of the transformer at the back here, just in front of the lamp. So that's those 2. So that's what I've got as wire 3 here. Right, I've got 4 and 7 attached, but what I've done as well is I've also put a bit of shrink over 7. I'm just going to heat that up. Last thing you want is bare copper showing. So just want to make sure all this is insulated. Right, that's all the wires on. So what I've got to do now is carefully drop the board down in. I've got that capacitor on the end of the valves to solder on at some point, but what we've got to do now is connect the aerial socket and the earth thing to the board. So what we've just done is 1, 2, 3, pad 4 has the white outer insulation wire on wire 4 going to it, then the other wire from that and wire 7 go onto this big long pad which is here, and that's the 1, 2, 3, 4, that's the 5th pad from the right hand side top of the board, and the 4th pad for the single wire, and then that's all the wires on, I believe. So I'm going to carefully drop this down the back now, and then we'll see about soldering these other wires on. Right, I've just put some of these spacers in just to hold the board in. But you remember last time when we first started, this board here was like bananaed because the bodge they'd done was like really bending the board, and there was no spacer here. Well, Dave sent me some spacers, so I've put them in. Now these go in a certain way round. You have the brown coloured washer goes at the back here, goes through the spacer, and then the black coloured washer goes this end, and that's consistent because that's the same as what I've got on mine as well. So that's good. The one thing I'm going to do is make up these earth leads for Dave as well, and just get a good couple of good earths on here for him as well. I'll knock them up in a minute. But yeah, the board's going back in, so I've got 2 more of these to put in. One down in this corner, one down in there, and then the board's loosely in. I don't want it over tightened because I've got to take some of these off to fit the extra earth terminals. And then I've got to get down in here to do the soldering to put these back on. And then we're sort of not far off, so that's really good. Right, okay, I will crack on and get these other 2 in. So I just had to take all of them out again. I think I made this mistake last time when I did it. You have to do the bottom 2 first and then put the top ones in, and the bottom 2 were a pig, I recall now. So right, here goes. I'm going to do them off camera because it's going to take me some time to do. Now the earthing on this board is rubbish. It just relies on this one piece of wire here, precariously balanced on these connectors. So what I do, I make up 2 little spade terminals, I wrap them round and connect them onto the PCB stops, and then it gives you a better earth. So if that comes off, you're still earthed. So we're almost there. I've got the 2 bottom stops in, albeit loosely fitted. I'm now going to put the 3 top ones in, and then we can, the last thing we need to do is solder that capacitor onto there, and then I'll give it one final check over, and I think we're ready. Oh, I've got to obviously solder these on, but then we're ready to fire the thing up. Right, so I've got all of the screws in, the standoffs, I've got the earths coming round, so they're all nicely in. I'm just going to put some cable ties on here, secure all this wiring nicely, and then that's it for today. That means I've been going 5.5 hours. No, hang on. Yeah, 5.5 hours. So yeah, it took a lot longer than I thought, but so let me just secure this wiring up. missed the wire. Take that off again. I didn't get it all. No, I did that. Yeah, I have. Oh, come on. Right, let me get another cable tie. So it makes the wiring nice and tidy. So we'll leave it there, and then in the next video, hopefully we should be firing this thing up.